The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Schaap. You may know me from ESPN's Outside the Lines and Sports Center. What you probably don't know is that I've suffered from Crohn's disease for almost 20 years. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation of America's Take Steps, Be Heard walk program is the largest national walk program dedicated to raising funds and awareness to combat Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. To learn more about how you can help and to find a walk site near you, please visit www.cctakesteps.org.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and practice an escape plan for you and your loved ones. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov, because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
Hi, I'm Hillary Duff. As a mom, I'm proud to support the March of Dimes in helping more women have full-term pregnancies and healthy babies. That's why I walk in March for Babies. The money we raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org. Together, we can help make healthier babies possible for thousands of families.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire. It's Rod Eccles.
And good morning to you, America. All of you liberty lovers and ecclesiastites all across the globe. Yes, it is I. Thank you for being here this Thursday morning, June number 15 in the year of our Lord 2017. Halfway through the month officially today. June is officially halfway gone. The call-in number this morning is 603-835-3226. We have got a lot to cover this morning. Well, you know what happened yesterday. But there is some stuff that has been going on that isn't being overlooked by the big events of yesterday. We'll get into some of those things today. Did you know that there was a dirty bomb scare in South Carolina? Yeah, well, we'll get into that. The witch hunt is officially on for Trump now. And I got some real good stuff for Donald Trump. If he ever listened to this program, and if he listened to what I had to say about this, we'll try to get to that as well. He'd be one of the greatest presidents ever. I'm just saying, 603-835-3226 is the call-in number. Don't forget that today is Military Tribute Thursday. Folks, you got to stick around for the second hour because all these tributes that I get when I read them, actually, I get choked up. But this is one wow. You got to be here for that one. We will also, we just got so many things. I've been doing, last night I got 2 hours of sleep. 2 hours. I couldn't sleep. My brain wouldn't turn off. My body temperature, you know how your body temperature is supposed to fall off, drop? No, it didn't. I tried for an hour and a half to go to sleep. I even took a sleeping aid. I don't do that. This natural stuff, Z something, I don't know. That didn't work. So I went hunting online, and I started doing some investigating and digging. There's only so much you can do. I've decided that every year I try to learn one major life-impacting thing. Every year I try to do this. Now, I'm constantly learning anyway, but every year I try to do this, just learn one really good thing. And I think this year I find, because I'm like, well, what am I really interested in that much? I'm interested in a lot of things, but what am I really interested in that much to really try to delve into and really learn about it? I think I need to learn how to access the dark web. I don't know how to do it. I don't even know where you go. I mean, how do you even get onto the dark web? Well, obviously, there's no search. Is there a search engine for it? I don't know. Like Google or Bing or something? I don't know. But that's where the info, that's where all the good stuff is. I really need to learn how to do that. Because the stuff on this, that when you're reading this stuff that's out there online already, something's missing. You can just tell that they're not telling you something because they're all getting, you go from story to story and you think, wait a minute, I just read that exact same paragraph. It's not a quote. I mean, it's one thing if it's a quote. Yeah, you expect quotes to be exact from publication to publication to publication. But it's not a quote. I can't tell you how many times I actually compared. In 3 different publications, word for word, there was a paragraph that was exactly the same. So when this kind of bullcrap happens, you're being fed some bullshit. Now, I have limited resources. I have no way to counter check this stuff, but I'm sure it's out there. I always hear about the dark web. You can find anything on the dark web. Because the web that you and I usually peruse and surf on a daily basis, I guess 80% of the web is the dark web. Well, if it's that much, how come we all don't know how to get to it? I need to learn how to get to it. Wow. I mean, when you're looking at, and I'm thinking, I'm reading this, and didn't I just read that? And then it hit me. Wait a minute. No. I know I just read that paragraph. Sure enough, I did. And these publications supposedly are not getting their information, like AP or Reuters. They're supposedly not getting their information from the same place. Well, bullshit. They're getting their information from the same place. It's all being whitewashed. Now, I can't tell you everything that out there is being whitewashed. Well, probably everything is being whitewashed. Yeah, this stuff is just absolutely, it really ticked me off. I'm thinking, wait a minute, I'm wasting my time trying to research this stuff, and everywhere, you guys are putting out the same crap everywhere. You folks who have this, who think that there's this major cabal, well, you're right. And therein lies the problem with only a few or handful of corporations or people owning the mass majority of news outlets and organizations across the country and across the globe. These international news conglomerates really need to go. Now, trust me, folks, this is not anti-freedom of speech here. This is pro-freedom of speech. Because what we're being fed is not the truth. What we're being fed is being manufactured, excuse me, it's being manufactured in the halls of capitals across the world. Plain and simple. And if you don't believe me, what did Comey say during his testimony? Now, sure, there are some things that might allude to national security, but there was a lot that Comey would not say in an open forum. Why? Because we, the American people, would hear it. And he's not going to discuss with the American people a lot of the stuff that he knows. Well, last time I checked the Constitution, Comey works for the president, or he did, and the president works for us. This is our government, not his. So we're actually his boss. So he's supposed to be, unless it's top secret stuff, he's supposed to be telling us stuff. But from what I understand, a lot of this stuff that they have in these closed doors, behind closed door sessions, they're not talking about top secret stuff where you need a top secret clearance. This is crap that they're keeping from us on purpose. You don't hear anybody, not even Sean Hannity is telling you this, folks. I mean, it's absolutely Insane. They say that believe it or not, they say the most popular color is blue. I say no. The most popular color is white, as in whitewashing. It might be brown. You can fill in the blank on that one. Because these people, they're out there, they're feeding you a line and telling you one thing and saying, well, and you got all these people running around trying to be reporters. They're pretending to be reporters and journalists. And all they're doing is just regurgitating what they're being told instead of investigating. Instead of getting the facts or just regurgitate. I'm not going to mention the names because I went through a lot of stuff last night. A lot of stuff. Maybe I should get insomnia. This is the first time I've ever had insomnia. By the way, I don't like it. I'm not tired this morning, which is kind of amazing. Maybe I should like it. I don't know. But what I saw last night, and maybe that was just God telling me, hey, Rod, no, you're not going to go to sleep tonight, bud. Get down there, get in that bunkerized studio, and do some research. I'm going to show you some stuff. And the stuff that he showed, it was just an eye-opener. Now, we all knew that that a lot of times we're being fed a bunch of bullshit on stuff. Most people with half a brain know it. But I have never, ever put two and two together like that and seen it for my own eyes, word for word. A rather lengthy paragraph in 3 different publications that are not related to each other, are not owned by the same conglomerates, and in fact, aren't even in the same, 2 are in the same country and 1 is not. So they're not even in the same countries. And the lines, word for word, were exactly the same. Now, is that plagiarism? I don't know about you, but that's not a good sign. That does not, by the way, did you know that, now I recognize this a little while ago, but I wasn't sure. I just thought maybe they were switching it up. But evidently Fox News has dropped the Fair and Balanced. Why? Because it was tied to Rod Eccles. No, that's the reason that they're giving, but that ain't the reason, folks, and you and I both know it. They've gone from Fair and Balanced. Of course, they're joining the liberal elites on now. Fox is getting. There are more and more liberals appearing on Fox. Why? That's not balanced. To have all the liberals on Fox News network. How many liberal networks do we have out there? Yeah, and we got one that was not liberal. We had a bunch of liberal ones, at least 5 major ones. NBC, CBS, ABC, MSNBC, and the Clinton News Network, CNN, now called the Clown News Network. So you get 5-1. And now Fox drops its fair, because look, the people that have been fair and balanced on Fox, most of them, they fired them. So of course they can't be fair and balanced anymore. They're heading towards the only bright spots over on Fox right now really are Hannity and Tucker Carlson. They're really the only bright spots left. And frankly, the way Sean Hannity talks sometimes, you gotta wonder how much longer he's gonna want to stay. His radio show used to be syndicated through Fox. It isn't anymore. Sean's radio show is Sean's. The only thing that's still tied to Fox is the TV show. A lot of people don't know that. So, all this stuff is just, it gets to be, I guess when you're, what is the, when you get, when you get tired, And you start seeing, when you go on a vision quest, that's it. You start, your mind opens up and you see things. You ever go on being part Native American? I've never been on one. I'd like to go on one, but they take peyote and other kind of stuff. I don't know if I want to do the drugs part, but you just go, you fast and you in the sweat lodge and you stay up, and I don't know how they do it. Just be interesting to do. But last night I went on a vision question, evidently, and let me tell you. There's a lot of stuff that opened my eyes, and we're going to go over a lot of that today. Don't go anywhere, folks.
You're listening to me, your lovable host, L. Rod, here on the Rod Eccles Show.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
And now a message from our sponsor. Ladies, tired of drying your hair with the same old vacuum cleaner? Try Avon Shea brand new Beauty Locks portable hair dryer. It's smaller, it's faster, it's guaranteed to give you the hair you've always wanted in half the time. Beauty Locks is delicate and dainty, just like you. The dryer weighs only a pound and easily fits in your hand. Now that's beauty and convenience. With a speedy motor that will dry your hair in as little as 25 minutes, you can get gorgeous hair without falling behind schedule. Don't worry about the little ones or that pie in the oven. Thanks to an extra-long extension cord, you can move around while primping your locks. Forget those long trips to the salon and no more waiting for hours under monster machines. Avon Shea gives you an easy and speedy hairdo that will blow your man away. Get it now at your nearest Macy's.
You're listening to The Rod Eccles Show. Let truth be told.
(603-835-3226). That is the call-in number. Should you wish to join me here live here on the Rod Eccles Show. Good morning to you, one and all. Let's dive right into it. On the shooter stuff in Virginia yesterday. Now, the congressional shooter, as he's now being touted, this guy, well, he's 66. Well, he was 66. James Hodgkinson. They're still saying he's the accused. I love this. He's the accused shooter. No, he is the shooter. He had the gun in his hand. The bullets came out of his rifle. He pulled the trigger. His bullets are the ones that struck the congressman and his aides and the two cops. No, he is the shooter, not alleged. Accused. Well, now, Rod, isn't it amazing how they always want to protect criminals? Amazing. You know, but he's innocent until proven guilty. Well, you know what? Excuse me, he was caught, you know, dead to rights. Pun intended. Because he's dead. Now, this is a gunman who opened fire yesterday morning, but he had posted on Facebook, "It's time to destroy Trump and company." And why? Because he said Trump is a traitor and has destroyed our democracy. It's time to destroy Trump and company. Now, why did he say that? Because the Democratic Party have been feeding their minions this notion that Trump colluded with the Russians and the Russians hacked our elections and that influenced the elections and that's why Hillary lost. And by colluding with the Russians, that is treacherous. It makes Trump a traitor. There is absolutely no evidence because it didn't happen. And the left knows it. The Democrat Party knows it. So I say to you right now that the death of this man, as well as the injuries, and the congressman has to go, I guess, is due for more surgery. He's still in critical condition. But the death of this man and the blood that was spilled by the 4 that were wounded by this man is on the hands of the Democratic Party and goes directly at the feet of 2 people. Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. Now, why those 2? Because Barack Obama could have shut this shit down a long time ago, and he chose not to. And Hillary Clinton, because she's still out there, not able to accept the fact that she lost because America didn't like her, and she sucked as a candidate. And I'm getting sick and tired of this investigation for this stupid collusion. We know the collusion that took place. The collusion was within the Democrat Party, the DNC, and Hillary Clinton's campaign to steal the election from Bernie Sanders. We know for a fact that was collusion. That actually happened. There's recorded documentation of that. Hello? Why aren't we calling for investigations on that? Why do we have this endless investigation on Donald Trump and his staff when there is no evidence at any time? Comey even said that there's no evidence to show at any time. Dianne Feinstein goes out there every time she's asked. We don't have any evidence. Hey, we asked Maxine Waters, even Maxine Waters when she's pressed. No, we don't have any evidence. We've got evidence with Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Hillary Clinton. And yet we're still focused on Donald Trump. And by them constantly pushing that button, they have pushed their minions over the edge that they're now picking up their guns and their bike locks and their fist, and they're starting to do damage. And they almost killed people yesterday. Hello? Can we wake up from this nightmare now, please? Anybody paying attention to this? This guy is spouting off the mantra that came out of the Democratic Party. Where do you think? He's not going to come up with that crap on his own. This came out of the Democratic Party. They have been calling for this. And then they want to pretend that they're out there praying for people. Well, these are also the same people that took God out of schools and God out of their own convention. You can't convince me that you're actually going to... Who are you praying to, Satan? I wouldn't doubt it, by the way. They're probably up there praying, oh, Lord Satan, please may he die. Now, some people may say, Rod, you can't say that. Oh, yes, I can, because that is exactly what they've been preaching over the past 18 months. When it comes to Donald Trump and anybody who supports him. Well, you people don't know. You better stick around because I got a ton more, folks.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes 2. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
Anybody notice the Hillary email thing has all but disappeared? Anybody notice that? Well, it has. And it's been replaced instead by the alleged Trump collusion crap. And let me just tell you this. Donald Trump learns very quickly and he learns very well. And there are a lot of us on the right that are disappointed when Trump said, well, I don't, they're good people. When he wouldn't pursue any more, from his standpoint, he wasn't going to pursue Hillary on those emails or email server. And he said, well, they were good people. And a lot of people thought, well, that's because he's friends with the Clintons. No. Here's the reality, folks. Now, here's the scuttlebutt. A little whisper that I've gotten about this. And this is what I told you this before. I have told you that the Democrats have to keep this collusion with Russia thing going, because as soon as it gets dropped, then all attention turns on them and what they have done. And so many of them will be opened up to possible investigation and probably criminal charges themselves. They know this. Yeah. I mean, the secondary part is keeping this alive for the 2018 midterm elections. But the big part is to keep their ass out of the fire. Now, Trump is trying to play a little bit of a political game here, saying, you know what, as long as these guys aren't coming after me personally, I'm not going to go after you, Hill. And so the dogs have been kept at bay until Mueller. Now Mueller is out there saying, well, now I'm definitely investigating the president for obstruction, for firing Comey. There is no obstruction. There's no obstruction. It doesn't even matter if the real and only reason that Trump fired Comey was to try to stop the investigation into his cabinet. He can hire and fire whoever he wants. That's not obstruction. If he lies to Comey under investigation, if he asks him questions about the investigation, that's a different story. But simply firing somebody, the president, the CEO of the United States executive branch, that's not obstruction. So don't fall for this obstruction stuff, folks. This is a witch hunt. Now, if I were Trump, I'd say, if I were I said, Mr. Trump, Mr. President, sir, what you need to do is you need to go to your Justice Department and you want to throw all of this stuff about this collusion stuff on its head. You tell Jeff Sessions, your Attorney General, to go full bore and reopen the Clinton investigation. And I guarantee you're going to see a bunch of cockroaches start scurrying from the light. That's what he should do. That is what he should do. And by the way, when you fire somebody, it doesn't mean an investigation stops, now does it? Because what? Is Comey the only member of the FBI? Oh, hell no. Now, if he were to go ahead and fire every investigator in the FBI, then maybe you could say there was some sort of cover-up going on, an obstruction. But firing the leadership, that's not obstruction. But I guarantee you, if he just went ahead and said, you know what, Jeff, I'm sick of this crap. I'm tired of protecting these people just to save somebody in my cabinet's butt. There was nothing there. There is nothing there. There was no collusion. Obama spied on me illegally. She did something illegal with that server. Secrets got out that should not have gotten out. I want you to go after them both. And I guarantee you that you'd see everybody in the Democrat Party scatter. But folks, he does have people that have been in Washington, D.C. for a very long time that have got his ear. And they're probably telling him, well, no, this is the way, we know that you're a maverick, Mr. President. We know you're a maverick. But some things you have to do, the Washington way. Like I said, Trump is no fool. He's probably listening. And he was probably hoping that if he did it the Washington way, this one thing, that it would go away by, because there was no evidence. They keep, every time somebody asks, is there any evidence? No, there's no evidence. Any new leads? No, there's really no new leads, no new evidence. And then all of a sudden we find, well, yeah, no, the Russian fingerprints are definitely on it. We keep hearing that. But the fingerprints of the only hacking that actually happened came from the Obama administration. So if I were the president, if he wanted to shut this down and start getting Congress to start acting and moving on his agenda, I'd tell the DOJ to go ahead and appoint special counsels on Obama, on Clinton, and at least a half dozen of the other of Democrats in Congress right now. Oh, yeah, I'd do that. Guaranteed, well, you can't say that, Rod, because you're not in Washington. Well, yeah, I can say that. Because I'm telling you, if I was sitting in his shoes, it's exactly at this point, at this juncture, I'd say enough's enough. I've had, this is not. You want to talk about cover up, collusion, obstruction of justice? How about the former president and former Secretary of State? Before I get too much more into, because I got some other stuff, man, it's just loaded up today. But today is also military tribute Thursday, and I have a song here by a artist named Dorr, D-O-R-R. And it's hard to say the way the title is written is it's kind of it plays in your eyes, but it's 4x4 ever. Yeah, 4x4 ever. 4x4 ever. And it's now I'm guessing there's probably a video that goes along with this because of some of the sounds that are within the song. I ask people to send me stuff. I open it. So if you've got a military tribute song, just go ahead and send it to me, and we'll play it. Make sure either that you are the owner or you have permission to do that. So just Rod at rodeccles.net, put tribute in the headline, so I know what it is, and we'll play them. I've got a few more, but we do one a week. So here is by the artist named Dorr, I guess, D-O-R-R. 4x4 ever. Today's military tribute Thursday music tribute.
4x4 by land, 4x4 by sea, 4x4 by air, cause the lock to fly free. 4x4 a.m., that's when I rise, sneak up on the landscape, catch you by surprise. 4x4 rules are made to be broken, 4x4 respect a little not unspoken. 4x4 my suburbs, 4x4 my drive through, 4x4 the lost and found cities that I drive to. For my country, how it all started out, for the brave and every Boy Scout. For the fun of it, cause you know you can. 4x4 my man, 4 sea, 4 land. 4x4 doing it yourself, cause you want it done right. 4x4 top down tough, keep you up at night. 4 stones that were meant to be turned, for the dance and the thrills that you earn. 4x4 conquest, 4x4 dreams, 4x4 waking up and crossing those streams. 4x4 everyone was 75 years. 4x4 the rain, that's how we say cheers. 4x4 today, tomorrow, and never say never. That's how we drive, survive, and live 4x forever. This is for doing it right now and never waiting. This is for the moments that are worth celebrating. And this is for the ones to go big or go home. Here's to taking it and making it your own. 4x4 the north, south, east to the west. They all lead somewhere, and you do the rest. Make the magic hour 24 long. Burn the map, use your gut, no you can't go wrong. For the lessons that you learn, now you teach. 4x4 taking what was once out of reach. For the sounds you hear when no one's around. For knowing which way's up drive, survive, and live 4x forever.
Boom! Definitely 4x forever. Abso-freaking-lutely. That is this Thursday's military tribute song. Thank you, Door. That's pretty awesome stuff, man. It gets you revved up in the morning. Let me tell you, get you going. Still can't believe I'm not tired after only 2 hours of sleep. Man, I'm revved up this morning. I don't know about you. But this stuff, continuing on, the Prime Minister, Britain's Prime Minister, you got to be careful because there's three entities there. There's Great Britain, and then there's England and whatever, British Isles type of thing. But Prime Minister of Great Britain, Mrs. May, has ordered a full public inquiry into the Grenfell Tower bonfire. That's what I'm going to call it. The Grenfell bonfire, because the building looked like a giant bonfire. Now, if you know anything about British construction in these towers of that age and newer, they've got something rather unique, which I find kind of interesting because we don't do it this way. But the Brits do, and it's worked very very well for them. But basically, how each flat is basically its own quote unquote fire bunker. So if a fire ever breaks out in a single flat, it does not or should not spread to the rest of the building. Now, unlike here, when you have apartment buildings, now usually we have fire walls, but that's it. Each unit is in its own fire bunker. Well, these are built so they have their own fire, and they have one central staircase. Well, we usually have two, but they have one central staircase. And what they tell people is that because these things are built like bunkers, basically, is that unless your floor is directly affected, you should probably stay in place. And that if you do have to escape the central stairwell, unless it's engulfed in fire, which is really difficult to do because there's no combustible material in there, should be clear of even smoke because of the way the ventilation system in these buildings also work. The problem is that not only did the bunkerized system of their construction did not work, but the stairwell was filled with smoke. So there are two problems right there. Forget the possible electric fault, a faulty electrical system. Their entire system was circumvented somehow from a simple fire that started accidentally by a refrigerator in one flat, which should have been contained to that flat. Unless there were some massive construction shortcuts that nobody knew about, it should have been contained at least to that floor. But the fire department arrived within 6 minutes of getting the call, and by the time they had gotten there, the fire had spread from, evidently started on the second floor, and by the time they had gotten there, it had already started to engulf the fourth floor. The third floor was engulfed. People they were originally told they knew to stay in place, but smoke, and they started trying to getting people out, telling people to get out, but they couldn't get out because the central stairwell, which should have been clear, was full of smoke. There is something else going on there. Why else do you think she's calling for an investigation? She knows this is not a simple fire. I'm telling you, folks, she's about to hide something. See, the United States is not the only government that hides stuff from its people. We're not the only democratic-based society where the government hides stuff from its people, important stuff. She's about to hide something. I guarantee you. And this is just from what I can put together in the light web. I'm sure there's probably a bunch of stuff running around in the dark web that would definitely confirm what I'm telling you, which is why I need to learn how to get to the dark web. I don't know. Anybody know how to get to the dark web? Can you teach me, please?
Hello, America. It's me, your history. I remember a time when we thumbed our nose in a king's face, sent him packing. And when fascists and emperors talked a little bit too loud, we showed up, tore their cities to the ground, and then rebuilt them just to prove we could. We put men on the moon, we won a Cold War, and we elected fearless leaders who led fearless people. What the hell happened to you, America? Back in my day, we didn't elect a big-eared community organizer. We punched him in the kidney. Maybe it's time you came home, America. Home where you belong.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide. Plus, what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Call Rod now, 603-835-3226. Lines are open.
Welcome back. You know, one of the things about... one of the things that's very suspicious is, well, the death toll is now at 17, and they are saying publicly they don't expect to find any more survivors. The building obviously is a total loss. One of the things I found interesting is actually I asked an engineer about because I needed to understand what I was reading about some of their construction techniques. And I got a friend I went to school with, high school. He's an engineer and architect. And basically what he told me, he says, based on their type of system, did you know that the British building system was actually stronger than our system was pre 9/11? I thought we had the best in the world. He says, no. We don't have the best in everything when it comes to this kind of stuff. What we have is a lot of political stuff. Somebody in the chat room was asking, well, what about sprinklers? Did you know that sprinklers got put into play not because that they were the best method for suppressing fire and keeping damage low, but because of what? Unions. Yes, plumbers unions. You know how expensive it is to put in a sprinkler system? It's expensive enough to do it just in a new building, but try to retrofit. In some buildings, if they do any type of remodeling, they got to retrofit. According to some municipal codes, they have to retrofit a building. That's wickedly expensive. I mean, I didn't realize that we could basically build. Well, I should have known, but I'm not an architect, and I don't think in these such things. But you could build these high rises where they're actually bunkerized, basically. I mean, I know, say I have a bunkerized studio, but you could. This is what England does. They bunkerize apartments and high rises. Evidently, they've had numerous high-rise fires over the years, and this particular system has worked exceedingly well and has limited damage. Now, our sprinkler systems, for whatever reason, somehow we can't seem to get them to be highly targeted. I mean, one sprinkler goes off in an area or a floor, and they all have to go off. And a lot of times what we have is you have more water damage than fire damage. And the problem with mass sprinkler systems is something else starts to happen, which is very difficult in high-rise buildings to control and get rid of, and that's called black mold. Now, this is something I do know about. It does not take much. Did you know that black mold can actually become a health hazard to human beings within 12 hours after it starts? 12 hours. That's it. So you solve one problem by creating another. Well, evidently the Brits didn't want to go that way, so they devised this other building system that seems overwhelmingly worked very successfully for them, which is why the British Fire Department is scratching their head on this. They can't understand what the hell went wrong in this building. Because it was built in the same construction method of bunkerizing apartments. And that didn't work. And it isn't due to somebody just opening the door into the hallway either. Because the fire evidently didn't spread up through the hallway. I mean, so Theresa May asking for a investigation. There's some serious stuff that went down. Now, of course, they're saying, well, we don't have enough building inspectors and blah, blah. Well, you know what? I think it's about time that these governments start realizing that their job is to keep their people safe, just like our government is to keep us safe. It isn't to provide food stamps and provide health care and spend all that money and manpower and man hours on doing all this other stuff for us instead of doing the things that they should be doing. We can't build buildings ourselves and inspect every single building if we're going to live or work someplace. But the government can do that. But we sure as hell can get out there and earn money for our own keep and and earn our own food and get our own health care. We don't need the government for that. They're supposed to be out there protecting us, not providing for us. I don't care what country you're in. Government providing for its people does not work. And this is another failure of socialism because the areas they should be concentrating on, they let go lax. And now people died because of it.
Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm a leftist elite Hollywood a-hole? If so, good news. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College is now open, featuring such courses as unemployment is not paid vacation. No, Americans don't want to spend $19 for an order of French fries, and the ever popular shut the hell up. Why, just listen to this big-time celebrity endorsement.
I'm not Rosie O'Donnell, and I think this school's offensive, sexist, and racist.
And I think you're a giant a-hole who needs to shut the hell up. Hey, we teach a course in that. The Rod Eccles Hollywood Community College, where being an a-hole is not a guarantee you'll be an A student.
Thousands of families affected by disasters, like the recent wildfires, urgently need support. You can help the American Red Cross provide warm meals, shelter, and hope to families when they need it most. Please donate today to Red Cross Disaster Relief to help people affected by disasters, big and small. Go to redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. Your support is critical. We can't do it without you.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you could still have hepatitis C, a serious disease that's a leading cause of liver cancer. If you were born from 1945 to 65, you should get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments can cure this disease. Talk to your doctor about getting tested. A message from the CDC.
Think fast. In the short time it takes to listen to this message, a small flame can turn into a big fire. Several minutes more, and thick, poisonous smoke may have filled your lungs and reduced your ability to respond. Give it 5, and your entire home may be filled with flames.
Keep breathing. We've got you.
Don't let your world go up in smoke. Have working smoke alarms and always stay in the kitchen when cooking at high temperatures. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov because fire is everyone's fight.
Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of paint, a wild mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Premature birth is the #1 killer of babies. Those who survive often face birth defects and complications that affect them for life. For hundreds of thousands of families in the United States, this is the hardest thing they will ever have to face. And it's even harder on the baby. March of Dimes is providing education and support to families and funding life-saving research to give every baby a fighting chance. You can help. Do something today. Give them tomorrow at marchofdimes.org/tomorrow.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. Go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine. We understand what makes this cancer tick. And of course, without donors from around the world, this just couldn't happen. There's one thing we're focused on, and that's beating this thing.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
Not on my watch, our military service members say, as they volunteer to serve. As they move out, stand firm, and take fire. So not on our watch, we say, to the severely ill or injured veterans who can't get the care they deserve to live full and independent lives, even when there's no government funding or a nursing home seems like the only option. We won't leave one warrior behind. Not on our watch. Join us at findwwp.org.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness.
Get some rear security.
From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
America's wounded warriors are coming home. After serving on foreign shores, these brave men and women are returning to their families and communities. Many have wounds you can see, and many have wounds you can't see, like post-traumatic stress disorder. Now that these warriors are back home, they are ready to enter the civilian workforce. To help, Wounded Warrior Project has developed the Warriors to Work program, a career counseling service that helps warriors translate their military experience to the civilian workplace. These extraordinary men and women bring proven world-class job skills and a unique perspective on teamwork to the job. And to ensure the right warrior finds the right job, Wounded Warrior Project works with employers to find just the right match. When you hire a wounded warrior, you hire an intelligent, talented, and committed new employee. Contact Wounded Warrior Project at findwwp.org. Welcome home the brave.
You want to know what time it is? It's time to bring the rain.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
Studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire is Rod Eccles.
And welcome back. Yes, we are live this Thursday morning, June number 15 in the year of our Lord 2017, hour number 2 of the program right here. 603-835-3226 is the call-in number if you wish to add to the conversation, or if you have something. Am I missing something somewhere? Anything I've discussed so far? No, I try to put 2 and 2 together and try to make it 4 as best I possibly can, but sometimes I miss stuff. Or I don't have a piece of information. I'm always looking for more information to put all the pieces together in the puzzle. It's rare that you actually get from the... Because I'm on the outside. I'm not inside the media and press. I'm not a member of the establishment. So I am not privy to a lot of stuff that they are. So sometimes it's you're missing pieces in that picture puzzle. And I know it's frustrating, folks. It really is. Trust me, I know it's frustrating. You ever build puzzles and you get done, and there's 1 or 2 pieces missing, and those pieces never are on the edge. They're always somewhere in the middle of the puzzle that are missing. And you search high and low for those 1 or 2 pieces. Why? Because you want to see the whole picture. And there's something missing. Now you can fill it in. You can fill in that missing piece with your mind's eye. But that's not good enough. You want to actually see the whole damn thing finished. But if you're ever missing a piece on the edge, one of the border pieces, that doesn't seem to bother people as much. Yeah, in fact, people usually don't. They okay, it's around here someplace. We'll find it later. Really, that's the way to ask anybody who does puzzles. But you get a piece missing in the middle, they will hunt high and low for hours for that thing. And if they can't find it, the disappointment is great. It's tremendous, because you want to see the whole thing. You don't want to have to fill it in with your mind's eye. But this is what I am stuck doing, and what many of us on the outside are stuck doing on a daily basis. Now, because I have access to certain people that most regular, average, everyday citizens don't have access to. I have access to more pieces, but I don't have access to get every single piece. So I've got to fill in, but I have to fill in less than most people have to fill in, which is kind of a nice feeling. So I know I'm not going off on the deep end on stuff. You'd be surprised how many, local and national talk show hosts talk out of their ass. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. It's incredible. And I try to make sure that I do not do that. So you can always count on me to get as much information as possible before I talk about it with you. I just want to have my facts, because I'm only about the truth, folks. I want the facts. I want the truth. That's it. I don't care where the truth takes me. I just want the truth, because you cannot do anything cognizant and logical and right about any type of issue or situation unless you have all the facts, or as many facts as you can possibly gather. Because otherwise you're just talking out your ass and you start making up stuff and you start making bad decisions, because then when you make the decision and you don't have all the facts and you realize, oh, geez, well, that was an important fact that we missed before now that we're into it. Well, I don't want that to happen on this program. So, and there are people that I talk to on a regular basis and they feel the same way, and I thank them for that. If they feel that they're missing something important, either they don't share it with me or they tell me there's something missing here and I got to find out more. And I love that about when people do that. That shows me that they care and that they want the same thing I do, the truth. Yeah, I don't care where the truth leads, as long as it is the truth. I mean, now once we find the truth, then we can just, then I'll care about what the truth is. And we can decide, what best to do about it. But until we get the truth, all I want is the truth. I don't care how bad it is. It is never any good to hide it from people. Really, it's not. It always comes back to bite you in the end somehow. And, with this whole London fire thing, somebody's knickers are going to get scorched on this one, because somebody didn't do their job, and somebody cut corners, or somebody let somebody in that they shouldn't have let in. And yeah, I don't know if this is terrorism. I don't know. I do know this: it's highly suspicious. And there have been calls from terrorist organizations to do basically what happened in London yesterday. So is it out of the question that this could be a terrorist act? No, it's not out of the question. Is it out of the question that the British government would want to hide that fact? No, it is not out of the question that they'd want to hide that fact. Now, it's one thing to be... Now, let me put this in perspective for you. It's one thing to be out in public somewhere, and all of a sudden somebody starts shooting, or they try to run you over with their truck, or if you're in a subway, they try to blow you. You can make a decision to avoid those places. The one place that you're supposed to be safe, no matter where you live, is supposed to be your home. Now, understand if somehow a terrorist could circumvent all the safety that has been built into these structures. Circumvent them. Well, now you're no longer safe in your home. What do you think people are going to do to their government officials if they're no longer safe in their home? It's one thing, you go out in public, you're not safe in the park, or you're not necessarily safe at the ball field, or not necessarily safe at the office. But home is where you're always supposed to be. In this country, we spend billions of dollars a year on security devices and security services to keep our homes safe. Because home, you're supposed to be safe at home. No questions asked. But if these terrorists, can circumvent all the security and safety measures that are built in and added on, what do you think the people of that country are going to do? Oh, well, they're going to rise up. There's no way in hell they're going to stand for that. Because the last vestige of safety has just been proven to be unsafe. There's no place to go. So, in light of that, would the British government like to clamp down on the story that this is possibly terrorism? Oh, hell yes. If it is terrorism, are they going to try to pin it on faulty inspection or faulty construction? You better believe it. Because if it's faulty inspections or faulty construction, the government can fix that. But if terrorists can attack you in your home, no matter what kind of home you have, the government can't fix that because they've already let the wolves in, and we're all sheep. And the only way to keep us safe is to do something they don't want to do, is kick out all the wolves. So just put it in perspective for you folks. Trying to, at least, anyway. By the way, here's a story. Before I get to this morning's tribute, the story that I mentioned earlier, alluded to earlier, Live 5 News, CBS News in South Carolina, Coast Guard, it says one is being questioned about reported dirty bomb at Wando Terminal. Yes, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Officials with the Coast Guard say a person is now being questioned by authorities about a potential threat at the Wando Terminal Wednesday night. Coast Guard officials confirmed Thursday morning via Twitter 4 containers had been scanned and cleared. 14 agents with radiation detection technology investigated these containers and the ship that they were on and found no signs of radiation. Folks, do you think that they would have spent that amount of time and effort if it weren't possible for terrorists to get their hands on nuclear material and build dirty bombs? That right there alone tells you that they know it is highly possible. It's always been poop. Nah, they can't do that. They're not going to. They don't have the technology. They don't have the ability. They're telling you one thing, but behind the scenes they know something different. And because of what they just did in South Carolina, just proved the entire country, the truth is that our government believes and knows that the terrorists are capable of doing it. They have the technology, they have the means, and some of those groups have the money to buy it. To buy the materials that they need. Our government is completely aware, and they've been lying to us. Just telling you right there, folks. Boom. I'm sorry, you can't get more obvious than that. Any case. Right now, folks, I want to get to this week's military tribute. Military tribute. Name, Richard Rick Ryder. His rank, Private First Class U.S. Army. Born June 1949. Date of service, August 1967. End of watch, September 1968. They write, Rick entered the service on draft notice. This is during the Vietnam era, for those of you who don't know. He was evidently eligible for deferment, but chose to enlist instead. He was a young man with big dreams, and he thought the Army would be a good boost to achieve those dreams. He entered basic training in August of 1967, and he knew full well he would be heading to the Vietnam theater after his training was completed. He came home after he concluded basic. He assured his family and his girlfriend, whom he had planned to marry, that he would be safe and he would do his nation and his family proud. Now, Rick had a choice of being a medic or doing something, quote-unquote, safer. But again, he chose as his heart directed, and he chose the infantry. Rick was killed in the jungles of Vietnam in September 1969. His last letter home, which his family received after Rick was killed in action, stated that he would be home soon. Approximately 2 weeks later, his body was laid to rest in his hometown of Minnesota. Rick Ryder.
You're listening to the Rod Eccles Show, the coolest, most politically incorrect, conservative black man on the planet.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Hi, Gordon. What you been up to?
Big things, Fred. I'm a full-time student at bartending college.
Wow. I never had time for a formal education.
Well, I decided to make time, but it's not easy. Bartending college is a 4-week course.
Gee, how far along are you?
Well, let's see. This is Tuesday, the 3rd week. Hey, I'm a junior, and I'm late for a daiquiri lecture. Why don't you join me?
Why not?
Bartending college.
You've already spent enough time on the other side of the bar to qualify for enrollment.
Bartending college.
We'll teach you everything you need to know. You'll get a starter set of bartenders' jokes like...
So I says to the guy, you can stay, but the cow's gotta go.
Bartending college.
You'll learn how to roll drunks, water the liquor, and skim the cash register. And remember, as the bartender, you drink for free.
Last call.
For integrity.
(603) 835-3226. That is the call-in number. Excuse me. That is probably one of the most powerful tributes I have read thus far in doing this. And I got to be honest, I didn't want to do it. I mean, I have a couple others here already that I could have done instead, but just the way they wrote this, the simple timing of how ironic was all that timing? Which makes one go back and say, politicians can't fight wars. Vietnam was a political war. They cannot fight. All of those men died for nothing. It's like what Obama did with Iraq. Well, I'm not going to get back into that, but yeah, just understand. Politicians, there's a reason why the president is the commander-in-chief, in that in matters of war and military, Congress are just consultants. That's it. They can't. Their 2 cents is definitely not worth more than the president, and they cannot have all these endless committee hearings and committee hearings on this and committee hearings on that when it comes to the effects of the military. That's the president's job. I don't care who the president is. He's the commander-in-chief. There's a reason for that. Because our founders understood that they lived it. Politicians can't fight wars. They screw it up every time. Hell, our own politicians were starting to get, World War II, believe it or not, if you actually look into the history of World War II, our Congress was starting to meddle in World War II. Do you realize if the war had gone on for too much longer, how screwed up the World War II? We might have lost at least the second part of it, the Japanese part, because Congress is starting to get involved. Politicians can't fight wars. That is why the Constitution specifically says the president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. You can only have one chief. You can't have, what did they have? 96 back then in the Senate. I know we've had bad commanders in chiefs. I get it, but there's still a reason why they are the go-to person, why they are in charge. Because if you let Congress get involved, you end up with Vietnam. You end up with the end of Iraq. That's what you get. Every freaking single time. I don't understand people that think that think that they should be able to run the military, from their seat in Congress or the Senate or state capitol or wherever. The power, the seat of the military, the chief commander, the head honcho, is the president. It is ensconced in our Constitution, and our founders did it that way because they lived it during the Revolutionary War. You had a bunch of people with no senior commander-in-chief. All you had was George Washington trying to keep these people together and fight a war. You can't do that. So they made damn sure that wasn't going to happen again. And now we don't even learn from history. People do not learn from history. That's civics, and our educational system here is, whatever it is. I don't have enough time to go into that thought. We got people on hold, so we'll get to your calls right after the break. Don't go anywhere, folks. Call Rod now, 666-603-835-3226.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Started off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzzed driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzzed driving, because buzzed driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
Picks all those wonderful bumper music pieces. Oh yeah, that's right. That's me. I love that one. Anyway, 603-835-3226. Need a little bit of levity after the last couple of segments. See, one of the reasons why I brought that up, and I'm going to go right to the phones after this. One of the reasons I brought up the whole commander-in-chief thing is you can't have other people acting like they're the commander-in-chief when they're not. You got John McCain running around out there saying that Obama was a better world leader than Trump. Actually, John McCain is not wrong in that statement. Simply because Donald Trump isn't a world leader. He's an American leader. There's a big difference. And some people are not going to get it, but I can't explain everything to everybody. So understand it. Donald Trump is definitely by far a better American leader than Barack Obama could ever hope to have been. Plain and simple. On to the phones here. 731. I do believe this is my darling.
Oh, my goodness. Did you know, I don't know if you got a message, but my dog, I had to have my dog put to sleep.
Yes, I did. I saw that. I am so sorry.
Well, yeah, that's been kind of, enough of that, but just pray for my dog. Now, let me say something that you said. I'm going to kind of disagree a bit. Obama, as far as his worldly leader, he did nothing to help us. I think what he did is he went overseas and over the globe and criticized Americans and how we didn't accept Sharia law. I'm just going to throw that out there. Whatever he wanted us to accept. Whereas I think our current president, Trump, he went over and tried to say, okay, I know you've got problems here in Saudi Arabia, for example. You have problems, but I think at the end of the day, you want the same things we do. You don't want terrorists taking over your country. Maybe, I'm hoping. And John McCain, excuse me, guys, for anybody of you that think highly of him, I think he's a traitor. And for whatever, he's done a lot of things, and it's available to you if you choose to read that. I mean, I clean house well, but I couldn't be on the Brady Bunch hour. So that's just what I'm going to say. I mean, sometimes you have to just say what needs to be said. And I want to know, are these Awan brothers? If you haven't heard of them, go look them up. They're the IT brothers that were working within our government, making $160,000 a year, 5 or 6 of them. And are they the reason that these people are getting shot? Because who would know you were going to go to the ball field at 7 o'clock in the morning? Answer that question to me.
Well, this is a 108-year-old tradition from what I have learned. So everybody knows that this is happening, and that they practice.
Know it's happening.
Yeah, they know that there was practice a couple of days before. So
I'll give that.
And in most cases, the congressional leaders don't have secret itineraries like the president, because now understand this: if the whip was not there, there would have been no Capitol Police there, because folks have to understand, not everybody in Congress, the only people in Congress that get armed protection from the Secret Service or the Capitol Police are the Speaker of the House, the majority and minority leader in the House, the President pro tem, and the majority and minority leaders in the Senate. And of course, you already know that the Vice President and President get it. But those are the only people that get armed protection that's paid for by government by taxes. So now anybody else, they may have security that's paid for by their state government when they're at home, or they may have private that they pay out of their own pocket protection. But those are the only people that really have security as far as elected officials go. Now, of course, appointed officials also have security detail, like Secretary of State, Secretary of Defense, and a few of the not all the secretaries do, but a few of the secretaries have armed protection. But if he wasn't there. If he was not there and that guy started shooting, there would have been more deaths then I mean, it would have been horrific. It would have been a bloodbath. And the only saving grace was that, the majority leader was there, and he had his security detail with him. But that was a saving grace, honestly.
It was a saving grace, and I thank God for that. But, it's like you said before I was listening to you, that we have a president that is the commander-in-chief for a reason. And we don't need the FBI trying to play commander-in-chief. They're supposed to bring law and order, not chaos. I'm just going to say that because this is going on 270 days, and I'm tired. I'm tired.
Right now we have it seems like almost the entire federal bureaucracy is trying to be president. You got the judicial branch trying to be president by determining whether or not a presidential executive order is constitutional. Well, of course it's constitutional. He's got the power to do it. But yeah.
And he can fire them. He can fire McCabe. He can fire Mueller. And he should.
Yeah, I agree, but there are people inside. I got the story here. There are people, supposedly this is a leak. Members inside his inner circle are begging the president not to fire Mueller.
Hey, my first husband begged me not to divorce him when he was running around. And you know what? Sometimes you just have to dust your hands off and go. And so I've been forwarding things to our president, and he doesn't need to listen to them. He needs to listen to the people who got him elected, who are looking after his best interests. And I'm going to assure you, I don't think many of them there are, because they're involved in what God only knows what. And so in order for us not to end up having a revolution, which we're already having, if you ask me, and we're going to find ourselves in a mess. And I'm very concerned about what it is that they have on their mind. But I don't think it's the American people. Do you hear me, American people? They're not on your side. They're on their side. They're looking out for themselves. They have taken our money and used our money to make their lives better. And they are now addicted to our money. Okay? So it is up to us. And I don't care what you have to do. You spread this word, because they don't care what happens to us. As Bill Gates said, he would like to diminish the population by 90%. Guess what? You're not in that. You're in that 90%. They aren't. And so I'm irritated, and for good reasons too. And my dog has died, so everybody better watch out.
Better stay on your good side. Here's a story actually from the Daily Beast has the story. Now I know it's the Daily Beast, folks. I get it, but here's their misleading headline. Even Trump's aides blame him for obstruction probe, saying president did this to himself. And if you go down and read the story, the whole story, that's not actually what his aides are saying. But they catch your attention, and that's going to catch it. You know who's going to read that? A bunch of liberal idiots are going to read it. That's all they're going to read. They're going to read the headline and maybe the first paragraph or two, and they're going to come out and start saying, see, even the president's own aides say that he obstructed justice. That he did not. That's not what they said.
It's not true. You go down a few more paragraphs and you'll find the truth.
Exactly.
Truth in it.
These people are, I mean, they keep doing this insidious stuff. Look, this is why I said that the realization is this. What happened yesterday on that baseball field is a direct result of the liberal left leadership. I'm talking Maxine Waters. I'm talking Nancy Pelosi. I am talking people, even the non-political leaders like Bill Maher and Kathy Griffin. All of the blood is on their hands. They is on their hands. They did this.
It is. They did it, and and you know what? We're not stupid. We are not stupid. Just like, did you happen to see Nancy Pelosi in the House yesterday acting all fuzzy, warm with Paul Ryan? I wanted to be sick because they are the reason that the man was in surgery. And because they caused it. They called for this malicious activity. They called for it. And I will tell you, I will never forgive Nancy Pelosi. If I have to go buy a trailer and put it in her area where her supposed voters are, I'm going to do it. Because I'm going to see she is voted out. And many more.
There, I got something earlier this week pertaining to Pelosi. Well, maybe it wouldn't affect Pelosi directly, but pertaining to where is I always forget. I always get her and Maxine Waters' districts mixed up. Where is Pelosi's district?
Pelosi's in California.
Yeah, I know she's Is she San Francisco?
I think she is San Francisco because doesn't she own all those wine?
Yeah, so this may actually affect her directly because it would encompass San Francisco. But evidently, the move to split California and Oregon off into the state of Jefferson. Now, if you actually look at all, and I've spoken out in California, and all the people out in California, they were all, you got to spread this, Rod. You know, this momentum is rising. I'm like, I don't live in California. That's up to you guys. But there is a strong Northern California, save for San Francisco Bay Area, is actually very conservative. But they have no population compared to the southern part of the state. Everybody lives south.
Well, so and you have to think, a lot of dead people vote there.
Yes.
A lot of dead people and a lot of illegal people.
But if they could actually split off into the 51st state, and I was being facetious with the person who gave me the information about it is gaining. I didn't think it would gain any momentum, but the information she gave me, it is gaining momentum. I don't know, folks. We may have a 51st state of Jefferson. But I told her.
Rod, let me make this comment real quick since I interrupted you. You know that I have very good sources that showed this with my own eyes. I saw it on a video that as it was taking place, a lot of these thugs or whatever you want to call them that are running around acting foolish, they are fed drugs. That's why they go out and they act so like they've lost it, because they have. And this is a very important thing that people need to listen to, that these people are not just, they're like zombies because they're given drugs and as much as they want, my understanding, and then they go out and they take off their set of thug clothes and put on their black thug clothes, and then they go out to beat up on people. And if anybody wants to question the authenticity of my statement, go Google that, because it is being done. And we can't, here we are trying to live the life properly, and we're being, taken over by this. Yeah. And so it's time that, whatever the president has to do to get rid of this and get rid of them and send them back to where they're from, or if they want to go to North Korea, we'll send them back and they can go into a coma with a sleeping pill. I mean, those are options for them.
Those are good options. All right, I got to run, my dear. Always good to talk to you.
I know. Okay. All right, and thank you very much, and have a blessed day. Okay.
You too. Yeah, you know the thing, the state of Jefferson. I sent her a message back saying they better hurry up because Puerto Rico has already voted very suspiciously, by the way, as I reported to you the other day, to become a state. They got a long way to go before they can, because they got to get a lot of ducks in a row before they can do that. But I don't know, maybe before 2050 we could have 2 more stars added to the flag.
I'm not Rod Eccles, and I approve this message.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, a long-haired young person came into our bank and said to me, "I bet you won't lend me money to buy an electric guitar." Well, he was making $100 a week, and he was over 18, and I said, "I bet you I will lend you money to buy an electric guitar." And I did. So what happens? The punk gets busted for possession of dangerous drugs, and we're out $350. There's one thing about kids nowadays. You don't have to give them credit.
Universal Bank. We trust you. About as far as we can throw you.
Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Sign him up for the Box of Bait Club and he'll never be hungry again. The Box of Bait Club is a brand new dream come true for every fisherman. Something new and different in your tackle box every month. Every month, another excuse to get outside and do what you love. Don't let this one get away. The Box of Bait Club is currently accepting a limited number of pre-orders with subscriptions starting at $39.95 per month. Find out more now. Log on to boxofbaitclub.com.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Warning. Listening to the Rod Eccles Show by the Idiot Left may cause outrage, fear, a need for safety pins and or spaces. If you experience any of these symptoms or are allergic to truth, tune in and learn something.
Get your 2 cents in, 603-835-3226, if you want to. Hey, this is from The Hill, as well as many other places. Security fears grow on both sides of the aisle. Oh, boo-hoo-hoo-hoo on the Democratic side. Yeah, I one of the things I I loathe is people create a scenario or a system or an environment and then claim they're scared. Well, you created it. I mean, that's like, well, let's take the movies, for instance. That's like, Dr. Frankenstein. I know it's Frankenstein, but Dr. Frankenstein creates the Frankenstein monster thinking that it's going to solve all mankind's ills and problems with death, and then realizes that he created something evil. Now he's afraid of it. Well, he created it. How the hell should he be afraid of it? You can't create something and then claim that you're going to be scared. You knew the rules. You created the rules. Oh, wait, so you're saying it got out of control? It got out of hand? You can't tell me you didn't expect this to happen. You on the left. You can't tell me you didn't expect. We saw it building up. I mean, it was one thing when they were screaming on the sidewalk at during the inauguration. No! But it quickly escalated into violent acts, throwing trash cans through business windows, setting limousines on fire, and continuing to escalate into things like Antifa. By the way, although Antifa hasn't caused as much damage as Black Lives Matter, Antifa is far more dangerous. And these people are now starting to pick up guns. Well, let me tell you, that's a big mistake. They just don't know. They obviously don't, because, the mainstream media won't tell them what is actually out there waiting for them if they want to arm themselves. You're looking at 100 million right of center gun owners out there that aren't going to put up with this stuff. And if you don't believe me, all you got to do is look at all these various militias out there. They're not nearly as well trained as the military, but let me tell you, they're ready for this.
The following program is recommended for mature individuals and may contain material unsuitable for morons, cretins, and dishwipes. If you are a moron or a member of the PTL Club, please turn off your radio, because we don't need any more stupid, narrow-minded, pencil-neck geeks who wouldn't know the First Amendment if it came up and bit them on the butt. Thank you.
When I found out I had atrial fibrillation, a serious but highly treatable heart condition, the first thing I thought of was who would take care of my wife and children if anything were to happen to me. My doctor recommended Prevactin. I had a lot of questions, so I did some research. It turns out Prevactin is the #1 recommended drug for Crohn's disease. I think my doctor's trying to kill me and steal my wife.
Doctors. They'll stop at nothing to get your wife.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
See that cute little dog in the pet store window? Chances are it came from a puppy mill. A breeding facility that forces caged, neglected, and often sick dogs to churn out puppy after puppy to be sold for profit. Meanwhile, millions of wonderful, healthy pets end up in animal shelters. This leads to the killing of more than 9,000 by the end of today. But with one simple choice, you can help. Just by deciding to adopt instead of purchase your next pet. Animal shelters are full of amazing pets looking for a home. When you adopt your new best friend, not only are you saving a life, you're taking a stand against puppy mills. When your friends see the smart choice and impact you've made, they adopt their next pet and share with 5 of their friends, who share with 5 more. Before long, thousands get involved. Pet stores stop selling dogs from puppy mills, and even more lives are saved. And with your help, we can save them all. Visit bestfriends.org/puppymills to learn more.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all. The few, the proud, the Marines.
The human voice. It can be sweet as music, powerful as thunder,
And so, my fellow Americans,
cheerful as laughter. But for millions of people, it can also be a sign of COPD. This serious lung disease can make it so hard to breathe, you often can't catch a breath or finish a sentence, let alone carry a tune. And many who have COPD don't even know it. That's where your voice comes in. If you think you or a loved one have symptoms, talk with a healthcare provider. Early diagnosis can mean better treatments and quality of life. Join us in raising our voices for the millions with COPD who can't. Learn more, breathe better at NIH.gov.
As a mother, you don't want to have to worry about this bill is coming, but then she needs this chemo. That's a decision you shouldn't have to make.
It's a huge burden lifted financially, and so it allows you to give singular focus to your child. I've never known a hospital that takes care of their patients so thoroughly.
That was the first thing I was like, how are we going to do this? When they told us that we didn't have to pay a single bill, I was like, wow. They pretty much have saved us.
It's like the world has been lifted off of your shoulders, and now your focus is supporting this child.
There is not another hospital like St. Jude. The patient care is unmatchable. It saved my life. It saved my daughter's life. It saved our family.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Zinc Media. Feel the power of knowledge.
bunkerized studio located somewhere within the great granite state of New Hampshire. He's Rod Eccles.
Yes, indeed, it is I, your lovable host, L-Rod, Nitro Rod, Lightning Rod of Truth, and all the other truths that go along with Rod. Here it is, hour number 3 here on the Rod Eccles Show. The fastest 3 hours in Internet Talk Radio is right here on this Thursday, June number 15 in the year of our Lord 2017. Halfway through June now. 603-835-3226 is the number to call should you wish to express or emote your 2 cents on what we've been discussing or anything related to what we've been discussing. You know, during the break, I was thinking to myself, you know, what about the militias? Isn't it interesting how there's been a media blackout on militias? Really, there has been. So I went looking and I printed something out right here in my currently cigar nicotine-stained fingers. A recent report, as early as, or as late as I should say, June 12th, 2017. Meet the gray-haired Army veteran Jew, Jim Cochran, the only Jew to lead a U.S. pro-Trump armed militia. Jim Cochran says, we are gearing up for what appears to be the inevitable. Look, I told you, people on the left, you guys are open up a Pandora's box. You're going... I don't know why I'm being nice to them. I should not warn them. But let me warn you. You are going down a road in a car that you cannot drive if you go down that road. And you've just done it yesterday. Well, you've been building up to it. You've been attacking people who even look like pro-Trumpers just for walking down the street or just for saying, yeah, you know, go Trump. I mean, I've seen YouTube videos. People just out there, they're not even really saying they're pro-Trump. They're just saying give Trump a chance. There is a YouTube video out there of a guy holding up, you know, and these people are calling this guy a fascist. And it's unbelievable. They don't even hear what they're saying. We don't want you here. Go away. You shouldn't be allowed to speak. You are against free speech. Get out of here. And they start pushing and shoving him. He's like, no, I'm just saying give the president a chance, like we gave Obama a chance. Give him a chance. And then they kept calling him a fascist. They don't understand that they're the ones being the fascist. They were trying to rip the cardboard sign out of his hand while they were pushing and shoving him. And next thing you know, I mean, it started out with, I guess she's a lesbian, started out with this girl getting really up into his face. And then she's joined by a couple of guys, both of them fat, not saying anything by that, but just giving you the picture. And while they're yelling, and he's trying to tell them his reasons for standing there, they're saying, you don't belong here on our streets. We don't want to hear a thing you say. This is what they were saying. We don't want to hear what you have to say. You don't have anything to say. And they keep pushing and shoving him, but he wouldn't leave until the people with the mask on show up in front of him. And then he thinks, well, he's probably thinking to himself, well, now these people are getting serious. So I'm telling you, they're the ones that started this. And they keep escalating and escalating. And there's another video out there. What's it? Probisic? Joe Probisic. Anybody follow him on Twitter? He's got a video. He's out there with a camera asking a question. Some snowflake rides up on his bike with his, bike helmet on, rides up on his bike, engages him for like 2 seconds, and then takes a swipe at him and punches him. The problem is that the cops see it. There's a cop car down the street. They see it. They pull up and arrest the guy. And while they're arresting the guy for assault, all the other snowflakes are around him are lying to the cops. He attacked him first. It was self-defense. Joe Probisic didn't do a damn thing. He was just holding his camera. The guy pulls up on his bicycle and punches him. And yet they're all around him, around the cops, yelling and screaming and lying that Probisic is the one that threw the first punch. How brazen can you possibly be? You know what that tells me? If they, with video evidence in front of them, they know he's recording, and yet they are still going to lie and expect the cops to believe it. Now, folks, that isn't even fascism. That's just plain evil. That is just plain evil. So I've come to the conclusion, there's one of two things. Either these people are just anarchists and that's all they want because they think, all the Jack Posobiec, that's it. Jack Posobiec, I'm sorry, I mispronounced his name. But these people are just evil. And what they are fomenting is one of two things. Because they've been born out of their parents' beatnik era, anarchy. Anarchy is just, it's so romantic, it's a beautiful thing. That, V is for vendetta. What these people don't realize is that V is for vendetta is not about anarchy. It's about regaining control of your own government, not anarchy. But they take it as this anarchy type of archetype and how wonderful it is and romantic. Anarchy is not romantic. It's perpetual war. But they believe it to be romantic, and so it's either that or they are just plain evil, worse than communist. One or the other. Because you cannot honestly tell me that somebody doesn't know the difference between right and wrong. And that they're going to lie when somebody else is in the wrong. It's what I say about Chuck Schumer all the time. Why I call him the evil elf. Because Chuck Schumer he'll look down his nose at you, with those stupid glasses the reading glasses that he wears. I mean, it's so condescending the way he does it. Most people when they're reading something, have reading glasses on, and they look up to engage you, they'll take the reading glasses off so they can look directly at you. No, not Chuck Schumer. No, he can't be bothered to look directly at you. He looks over the top of the rim of those reading glasses, and he'll get that little grin on his face, and he'll lie directly to your face. And as I've said before, Chuck knows that he's lying. But he's going to lie to you anyway and still expect you to believe his lie. Now, that's not breeding, that is not training, that is just pure evil in my book. Because who else does that? If you're of the Judeo-Christian ethic, Satan does that. That's just pure evil. Anyway, they are out there now, the wonderful left. Security fears in Congress now grow on both sides of the aisle because of what this wackadoodle nut job Bernie Sanders supporter did. And of course, now that he was actually tied to Bernie Sanders, now Sanders comes out and says that, he's not for this violence and you got to stop the violence. You think his supporters are going to stop? Oh, hell no. No, they're not going to stop. And there's, and Bernie's out. Well, I don't recall him being on my campaign. He was on Sanders. It doesn't matter if Sanders knew him personally or not. He supported Sanders. Plain and simple. And this whole, really, folks, if truth really be known, the anti-Trump movement was birthed by Sanders people who got robbed by Hillary. Well, I shouldn't say they got robbed. They feel they got robbed by Hillary. Now, frankly, even if the Democrats didn't pull the shenanigans that the DNC didn't pull the shenanigans that they pulled, it is unlikely, not impossible, but unlikely Sanders would have secured the nomination. I've looked at a lot of different polls and numbers and put, and tried to put all this together, because I once said, Sanders probably would have been the nominee. But after looking at everything, I'm saying it wasn't a fait accompli. It would have, made a much tighter race than it was for Hillary. But in the end, even without the DNC shenanigans, she probably still would have squeaked out the victory over Sanders. But I told you back, I told you before, I told you 18 months ago, there was no way in hell the Democrat Party was going to allow Sanders to become the nominee. And lo and behold, we had the collusion, the real collusion. And then when the Sanders supporters found this out, they went apeshit. And then which is really amazing, because most Sanders supporters did not support Hillary. In fact, a lot of them didn't vote. They just didn't vote. But when they didn't vote, and you even hear them say, well, I didn't vote, but Hillary should have won. Well, why didn't you vote for her, you stupid idiot? So this is born out of the Sanders campaign, to tell you the truth, not the Hillary campaign. I know this whole thing that the Russian collusion thing came out of the Hillary campaign, but this violent backlash against Trump is born out of the Sanders campaign. Maybe not by Bernie himself, but definitely by some of those people that were in the lead in his campaign. They took the Hillary stuff, and Hillary, coming up with saying that Russian collusion is the cause. And they're like, boom, there you go. There's our key. There's our in. This was all built around two lies. The lies that the Russians were in it for Trump when they would have been in it for Hillary, if they were in it at all. In that this whole anti-Trump, never Trump stuff came out of the Hillary camp. No, that came out of the Sanders camp. And lo and behold, who's the first person to take an actual shot at trying to kill somebody on the right? A Sanders guy. No, don't, folks. I'm just saying. I'll say it again. Don't doubt me.
Yes, love hurts. It can hurt emotionally, but more important, it can also hurt you physically. It can hurt you in a way which nobody who owns a hot tub and lives in California can afford to be unaware of. Yes, I'm talking about California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. This painful, incurable disease can make an enjoyable soak in a hot tub with family, friends, and dog into a literally unforgettable experience. If you catch California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, not only will you walk around feeling like you're about to pass a twisted sardine can lid, you'll also smell like a pile of burning tractor tires. So don't jump out of the frying pan and into the hot tub, because if you get California hot tub rectal gonorrhea, it'll really burn your ass.
This has been a public service message brought to you by the Citizens Against CHTRG Foundation. California hot tub rectal gonorrhea. We're not going to take it sitting down.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
(603) 835-3226. Don't say I didn't give you the number. I give it to you almost every hour, I think. Every half hour? I don't know, somewhere around there. This is brought to you by me. The military report here on Military Tribute Thursday. And this is where I give a report on good or important stuff that is happening within the ranks of our armed services, be they Army, Marines, Navy, Air Force, or Coast Guard. And, of course, that always includes any of the National Guard branches as well, or the reserves. You can't leave them out. They serve in a very important role within our military system. From military.com, the VA shelves plan to cut benefit for elderly disabled vets. Now, I cannot even believe that this was even in discussion. But the Department of thank God for for Trump's people, because the Department of Veteran Affairs yesterday shelved a proposal that would have cut the individual unemployable benefit for elderly and disabled veterans. To the VA Secretary Dr. David Shulkin said to withdraw this benefit from people who rely on that money would be very difficult to do. As he said in a Senate Veterans Affairs Committee hearing, Shulkin said that the proposal to cut the IU, the individual unemployability benefit, came from an effort to make more efficient use of the department's funding, but it soon became clear that this would be hurting some veterans, and I'm really concerned about that. I'm not going to pursue policies that hurt veterans. Hear, hear. Now, before people start getting off and saying, well, this is just a ridiculous benefit that we're giving these, you know what what it averaged out to be per vet? $1,600 a month. You know how many vets are getting this benefit? About 330,000. That's it. And they wanted to cut that. Oh, you can't cut Social Security. Yeah, not saying that we should, but, not for those who are already getting it. But God forbid you even act like it's a cut. You know, even try to control the growth in it, and it's called a cut. And everybody's up in arms. You talk about cutting the growth or cutting the benefits in the SNAP program, the food, making people even at least try to get a job if they're going to get food stamps, and people scream bloody murder. You can't do that. But our disabled vets who can't get jobs because they're too disabled or they're too old now, they want to cut their benefit? what they've already been promised? Well, it's about damn time that somebody said, "Nah, we're not going to do that." It's time we stop hurting our vets. I mean, this is insanity. If anything, the people who are out there getting food stamps in every state, like in Maine, should be required to either get a job, get an education or training, or get off. Plain and simple. There should be no more of this freeloading for people who are fully capable and able of working to not do it. I mean, for crying out, at least you could do is do minimal community service. You know, what they found in Maine was when they said, well, you got a choice between training or education, get a job, or do community service. I think it was like 20 hours a month. You know how many people chose to get off of food stamps and welfare in Maine because they didn't want to do community service for a minimum of 20 hours a month? You know what that tells me? They didn't deserve it in the first place. Why the hell are we supporting people like that? And yet, the Obama administration had this wonderful idea. Well, let's just, save some money. Let's cut the IU benefits to disabled and elderly vets. Glad that's now off the table. The other thing here, again, from this is from military.com as well. The Marine Corps, I just sound like Obama. The Marine Corps to issue enhanced combat helmet to every Marine. Now, folks, when I read this, I'm thinking, wait, are you serious? This is what they were doing? The Marine Corps System Command has awarded a $51 million contract to Gentex Corporation to provide the Enhanced Combat Helmet, or ECH, to every Marine. Now, since 2014, Marines have only been issued the ECH when they prepare for deployment. This purchase, however, will enable Marines to use the helmet during training as well, eliminating the need to trade helmets before and after deployments. Right now, we have 3 helmets fielded, but the future vision is for a single helmet for all operating forces, which greatly simplifies logistic considerations and increases cost savings, said Nick Pierce, team lead of body armor and load-bearing equipment. This new helmet provides even greater protection from head strikes from small arms fire and some ballistic shrapnel. Well, why doesn't everybody have it in the military? Well, and why do they got to trade them back and forth? I mean, this is ridiculous. And if it's going to be cheaper, if we have one super helmet versus 3 or 4 different ones, and everybody has one, then why haven't we already done it? Well, again, you can thank most likely the Obama administration on this one. And now Trump is coming in and saying that's not the way that we're going to do things to our military. I mean, it is beyond me. Why the hell do we treat, from a liberal government standpoint, why do they feel the need to treat our military so poorly? They're the ones that are protecting their butts.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
I'm just so happy my father had a chance to see his kids before he passed. I just want to say thank you.
When her father fell ill, the American Red Cross was able to help get Veronica's brother home from the Navy to speak to his father one last time. It's thanks to your donations that we can connect military families when they need it most. Please donate today at redcross.org.
It's Thursday night, and you're grabbing drinks with some friends. Start it off with a pitcher for the table, which quickly becomes two. There's pool. And there's the photo booth.
All right, everybody squeeze in. Say cheese!
Followed naturally by an order of wings. And another.
Can we get some extra ranch sauce?
Then there's the ceremonial nightcap.
So what are we doing this weekend?
And lastly, it's back to the car, which, if you're buzzed, could be the most expensive night of your life. Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Every day, the men and women of the United States Marine Corps demonstrate their commitment to defend the American way of life. Since 1775, we have served our nation as a force in readiness. From combat operations to humanitarian assistance in every corner of the world. No matter where the mission takes us today, or wherever our country needs us tomorrow, we always remember the land we call home. As Marines, we take a stand for each other, for our nation, for us all, the few, the proud, the Marines.
I considered suicide so I wouldn't put my family through all the pain.
Many of our warriors are returning home from the battlefield, only to face a new war as they struggle with devastating injuries. At Wounded Warrior Project, we understand. We're there to help.
Even though you think you're broken, you're not. It's the physical and the emotional healing that Wounded Warrior Project provides.
With a gift of just $19 a month, you can join Wounded Warrior Project. You'll help provide critically needed programs and services that rebuild lives.
Beautiful. There you go, buddy.
The ongoing needs of our wounded and their families will continue for many years to come. Now is the time to show your support. Call now or go online with your gift of just $19 a month, and we'll send you this Wounded Warrior Project blanket.
It made me feel that there's people out there that care about us.
After this event, we can finally maybe start to heal as a family and move forward.
We need your help. The families are hurting.
For many of our wounded heroes, the greatest casualty is being forgotten. That's why your gift of just $19 a month is so important. Please, call or go online right now.
This is Free America broadcasting on the Rod Eccles Show with a message to all patriots trapped behind the lines in California, New York, Boston, and Chicago. Don't give up, true lovers of America. Even as we speak, moves are being made to drive the invaders back to the land from which they came. Defeat the would-be dictators and lift the chains of tyranny from around your neck. Stay strong. Stay brave. You're not forgotten, and you're not alone. Until next time, patriots, this is Free America signing out.
Bring the rain.
end of a piece that was that's a couple of years old now, but it was highlighted because of what happened yesterday in Virginia on that baseball field when a nut job Bernie Sanders supporter started firing a high-powered, high-caliber rifle onto the baseball field, striking 4 individuals, critically wounding at least one of them. And did you know that the 2 Capitol Police that were on security detail for the congressman, they were hit also, but they kept returning fire? Now, I don't know about you, but that's what a true hero is. I mean, you got chaos on the field. You got 2 people down. You're firing back at this jack nut job. You get hit. And you could have just said, well, geez, I'm hit, I'm down, I'm staying. No. They kept their wits. These 2 cops kept their wits about them and kept firing back until they got him. You want to talk about heroes? Come on, folks. These 2. I don't know what kind of congressional hero award that these 2 could be eligible for, but they should damn well get it. Now, from what I understand, we're not getting a lot of information about the seriousness of the injuries of these people, but from what I understand, one of the Capitol Police officers, their injury may be job ending. Now, I don't know if that's true yet. I'm just bringing because, you get shot. It happens to cops a lot. They get shot, survive being shot, but it's a job-ending injury. So it's highly possible. And, of course, a congressman is due to have additional surgery. But I'm learning this and reading this and thinking, how you must be able to keep your wits about you under such conditions. I mean, it's scary enough to hear gunfire and be shot at, but to actually be hit and to still keep your wits about you, to fire back and fire straight enough and true enough that you actually hit the perpetrator. I find that amazing. Kudos to the Capitol Police. But you know what? I don't know. Maybe if some of those congressmen or people in the congressman's, posse, maybe if some of them had a gun when they saw this guy, they could have put him down before anybody else got shot. But this story is a piece from Clash Daily that reminds me that the left is probably. I'm surprised that they have not used this already as a national reason, again, for gun control. There hasn't been really any. There's been a little bit of gun control talk, but not a whole hell of a lot. Because, well, this is a piece. It's you got a cop out there talking. A sheriff in Florida is saying that everybody who's legal to carry should carry, and they should carry all the time. But it harkens back a few years ago, back to 2014, when then Austin police chief, and I do believe the police chief of Austin is now the police chief of Houston. But here's a guy says that says if you know a gun enthusiast, turn them in. Police chief says cops need to vet gun owners. Now, I'm bringing this back because this is what you're going. Once the shock of this incident dies down, I guarantee you're going to have some on the left bring up the whole subject of gun control and banning certain kinds of guns again from people. Well, it's your own. It was your own. Notice how they always talk about this stuff when somebody from their side of the political aisle are actually the perpetrators. Maybe they're onto something. Maybe we should just ban gun ownership if you are a registered liberal, because they seem to be the ones doing the vast amount of mass shootings. I don't care what the news says at first. They always try to pin it somebody on the right. And I know over the past decade or so, well, ever since the inception of the Tea Party, they've tried to pin this kind of stuff on the Tea Party people. And it always turns out to be somebody from the left. But of course, they get that narrative out there. Well, it could be somebody from the Tea Party. Or this person has the name of somebody who's in the Tea Party. And then all the leftists, they run around saying it's a Tea Party, this, Tea Party. No, and they don't pay attention to the follow-up, the true story that shows it's some leftist nut job that has nothing to do with the Tea Party, has nothing to do with the right wing or the right side or right-wing talk radio. And all. You know how many times Sarah Palin and Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity have been made the scapegoat for something that a liberal nut job did? It's ridiculous. So if anybody should have gun control foisted up on them, it should be those people on the left. just because they're the ones that always end up being, it seems, look, going all the way back to the grassy knoll in Dallas, in John F. Kennedy. Who was tagged for that assassination? Well, a communist, which is a lefty. I mean, really. And how was his name? Hinckley that tried to assassinate President Reagan and severely injured. I just had his name and I forgot. His secretary is chief of staff's. Got hit in the head, severe brain damage from that injury. He survived amazingly. But this guy was going after who? Jody. He was trying to get the attention of who? A left-wing darling, Jodie Foster. He was a nut job. He was a lefty. And I heard it yesterday. Somebody was talking about the Gabby Giffords incident. Talking about, guns could be a problem. Right wing doesn't want gun control. Well, it wasn't a right wing nut job that shot Gabby Giffords. It was another left wing idiot. Every time, but they changed. They put the narrative out there, and then once it's out there, it doesn't matter if it's true or not. Once they put it out there, the minions on the left, they run with it. They repeat it over and over and over and over again. And they repeat it so often that even some of us on the right get confused sometimes and think, well, wait, is that right? And we're tasked with using our memory of the truth in order to debunk this stuff, but it doesn't matter. You can show them, post after post and article after article and news video after news video that they're wrong, and they're still going to spread that lie because it fits their narrative. This isn't about truth, and this isn't about right and wrong anymore. This is about narrative and what they want to be true. Brady, thank you, Kevin. Yes, Brady. I'm terrible with names. Why can't I remember people's names? Maybe I should learn how to remember people's names more often. It's just terrible. I never forget a face. I can't tell you how many times I'm searching for somebody's name when I meet them once or twice and I hear their name. And I know that there's a secret. What you're supposed to do is you're supposed to repeat that person's name to yourself like 7 times while looking at something very specific to that person, maybe their hairstyle or their eye color or whatever, and that gets locked in your brain. And I don't do that. Well, oftentimes I don't get a chance to do that because people come up to me from multiple at a time, and everybody's talking to me at once, and I'm just trying to get to everybody without leaving anybody out, and names leave me. I apologize for that to everybody out there in the entire world if I've ever forgotten your name. It's not that I do it on purpose. It's just, well, I guess I don't don't try to do it. Try to remember names. You got to be purposeful when you try to remember a person's name. But I think that does work. That 7 times saying it to yourself, because the few times that I have done that, I do remember that person's name. I put the name to the face. So let that be a lesson to you. 7 times. I don't know if it's the number that's maybe you have to do it more than 7. I don't know, or fewer than 7. 7 seems to be the number of completion, so that works. But don't do something that don't pin it to pin it. Don't pin it to something that is superficial. Don't pin the name recognition to, say, a button that they're wearing, unless the button is of their face. But don't because if you see them next time and they're not wearing it, you're not going to remember it. So it has to be something physical that you key in on. That's very noticeable. Like I said, it could be their hair, it could be a unique hair color, hairstyle. I know that can change, but usually people usually keep their hairstyles for long periods of time, especially if they're in politics, and people that often change are usually in the artsy-fartsy area. Really. Look at Donald Trump. His hairstyle hasn't changed. Anybody notice that? He still has the same hairstyle now that he's president. Not changed. So there are things that people just don't change about themselves very often, if ever. So pick that to be the word association or name association with that person. I can say that it does work because I've tried it. And when I don't try it and do it consciously, I forget people's names. I admit it. I know I'm such a bad, evil, mean person for not being able to remember a person. Well, how many people forget? Well, I shouldn't say that. But how many people before I had the show forgot my name? I'm sure there are a ton of people. It's just a human thing to do. Snowbound California, San Francisco Gate. Not just snowbound, but do you realize that there's still about 7 or 8 feet of snowpack in California, Northern California right now? In June, mid-June. In fact, they're still plowing and snowblowing roads open in California. Yeah, you can thank global warming for this. Yosemite National Park, there may be no more, from the San Francisco Gate, there may be no more potent reminder of California's humongous snowfall than the plows still clearing roads that snake across the state's highest mountains as summer approaches. In fact, the snow is so heavy and so deep that multiple states that drain from those mountains, the Yosemite area, are preparing for flooding as the snowpack melts, as summer officially approaches. We are almost in the middle of June, said Florence Traynor, a spokesman for the California Department of Transportation, and we still have a lot, and she emphasized a lot, we still have a lot of passes that aren't open, so our plowing and snowblowing must continue. I mean, the skiers and snowboarders are in heaven. Because the temperatures are getting pretty warm, so snow is melting. But 8 feet of snow, these people are. You ever seen anybody ski in shorts? I could never figure that out, but I have seen it here in New England. Spring skiing, people ski in shorts. So I'm sure that they are snowboarding and skiing in California right now in shorts. Yeah, the snow may be cold, but the air isn't. So, but the big story is that not only is California's water drought, far from over, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. The non-drought conditions, that is. But you still have people out in California who are screaming, well, what if we go back into a drought? Over-conserve water still. Really? You got 8 feet of snow up there. You're about to have flood. If you're going to have flooding, and you know you're going to have flooding, you might want to start using up some of that water so the flooding is less. Just saying.
What if I told you that you could lose weight simply by drinking coffee? Change your coffee, change your life. Our gourmet estate-grown coffee is infused with powerful herbs that help you melt fat and keep you from feeling hungry for 6+ hours. Get results or your money back. Order yours today at skinnycoffeeshop.com. That's skinnycoffeeshop.com. Tea and water also available. skinnycoffeeshop.com.
Have a legal problem and need some serious legal advice? Then you're listening to the wrong podcast.
Any facts we say here are probably wrong, and any analysis of the law should not be followed.
There you go. Reasonable Men are here to take a twisted look at the law.
Stack your hair right.
Learn in hand. Best name in law school.
Check us out on iTunes, reasonablemen.com, or on your favorite podcast app.
Reasonable Men are back.
Tired of paying outrageous prices for Viagra? Well, we have great news for you. Now you can finally get Viagra at huge discounts. Healthy Man allows you to save up to $500 on Viagra. Why pay U.S. pharmacy prices of $15 per pill or more when you can get Viagra for less than $3 a pill? Call today and get 40 Viagra pills for only $99. This can cost as much as $600 at your local pharmacy. You can't afford not to call us. If you want Viagra at the lowest prices, never pay $15 a pill pharmacy prices again. Get Viagra for less than $3 a pill. Call 800-595-2614 today and save up to $500 and get 40 pills for just $99. Healthy Man is fast, easy, and affordable. Operators are waiting at 595-2614 to take your call now. Call 800-595-2614. That's 800-595-2614. Again, 800-595-2614.
We've all heard of male enhancement, but now there's an expert on true male enhancement in the areas that really count. In Herb Ellis's book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, you'll find answers to questions like, why doesn't she want to have sex? A quick start, quick results workout guide, plus what you can do as a side hustle to make money now. With all the great tips in this book, every man can benefit. Get the book, Husband 2.0, Real Male Enhancement, on Amazon.com.
It started with a knock, but it wouldn't end there. What happens in the story next, many wouldn't understand, and most wouldn't believe. 5 + 2 = Perfection by Samuel Rosette Jr. is a must-read. The scriptures within are reminders of the ancient past, and yet intriguingly infuses with texts which stand on the edge of the stage of relevancy. Available online at Westbow Press, Amazon, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, and SamuelRosetteJr.com.
Did you know? A little bit of Get Smart imitation there. Did you know that according to statistics from the government, that in spite of Trump's travel bans being held up in courts where they should not be, visits from nations on Trump's travel ban list have fallen sharply. Yes, even though President Trump's order halting travel to the U.S. by people from 6 mainly Muslim countries, Muslim-majority countries, is on hold by the courts, the number of admissions from these nations has dramatically fallen nonetheless. You know why part of the reason is for that? You see, this is why the court order is ridiculous. Is because they've begun to do extreme vetting on a lot of people coming from those countries. And instead of being caught, maybe they're not a terrorist, but maybe they're wanted for something else. Or they're a criminal in that country and wanted in the particular country they're trying to come out of. They're not risking it. It's amazing what happens, even when our courts try, our liberal judges try to do something different. Now it's not a complete ban like Trump wanted, but it's working it's working the same. I told you he doesn't need to listen to the court. He can just do what the hell he needs to do to keep this country safe. That's what his job is all about. As commander-in-chief, he's keeping the country safe. It's one of his top priorities, protecting the people and the Constitution of this great land. And so the numbers are greatly down compared to a year earlier under Obama. They are greatly diminished to a near trickle. And this, of course, is to the lament of the lamestream media that this is happening. Why is this happening? We said that they could. We shopped around for these judges. We got judges who think like we do and want these potential terrorists. I mean, these wonderful people who just want a better life for themselves and their family to be able to come here, and they're not coming now. Kind of like Trump's building the wall and illegal immigration, although it ticked up a little bit last month, is still way down. And kind of like the whole thing of the rounding up all the known MS-13 gang member illegal immigrants here. Yeah, all that stuff is kind of, courts can't block that kind of stuff. Isn't that amazing that when you have a president who's willing to follow the laws of the country and the Constitution, how well that kind of stuff works? It's amazing. Finally today, Dolce & Gabbana is now, they're really thumbing their nose at these anti-Trumpsters. They're selling a hashtag boycott T-shirt amidst Melania Trump's mini controversy. Dolce & Gabbana, they're very happy and very proud. By the way, they're a couple of gay guys, and they are big supporters of Trump. And they love that Melania is wearing their stuff. Oh, they can't help themselves, but love that Melania is loving their stuff and wearing it like crazy. But she is. But there is this boycott that came about. Hashtag boycott Dolce Gabbana. So what did Dolce & Gabbana do? They took it on themselves to create a T-shirt that is selling like hotcakes. Just a white plain T-shirt that says hashtag boycott. I love those guys. I'm not into high fashion, but I love those guys. In any event, we're out of time. See you tomorrow. Open Mic Friday, Freedom Friday. See you then. I'm out.
Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A shameless politician always plays her cards right. Got a crew for the fight on the airwaves. Left dogs in the press, keep their mouths tight. Cause a Clinton never needs to explain why it is what they done or with who. A real Clinton knows that they're entitled. And you don't get to know what they do.
What difference does it make?
For Clinton, what's loaded in some fat apple file? A Clinton plays the victim for promotion. A Clinton kills it off with a smile. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. A server full of secrets ain't no thing. Damn, it feels good to be a Clinton. Nothing ever hits with the sting.